All right. We'll be working on seated poses today. Start getting settled in. Find a comfortable position on your mat. Close your eyes. Let's take a few moments to scan the body, making any adjustments, noticing and then releasing any tension. And then trying to find a good posture. Back straight, spine neutral, back, neck, head in one straight line to ease the flow of the vital life force, the prana throughout the body. Feeling stable, feeling grounded, relaxed. And then scanning the breath, making any adjustments, trying to find a normal rhythmic breathing pattern. And then let's chant 3 Oms to continue to turn our awareness inside. Join your hands at your heart center. Inhale. Take your time, listen to the vibrations, notice the vibrations, listen to the chant. And then open your eyes. So seated poses, we'll start with some loosening practices, some warm-ups as usual. Couple of seated poses. We'll start with a more active breathing practice. We'll do the Kapalbhati pranayam, couple of rounds in the beginning. Then we'll do the poses. Then we'll do some relaxation maybe. And then a cooling pranayam, since it's pretty warm, at least here in the Bay Area. So we'll do a cooling pranayam. And then maybe one other pranayam or breathing practice, depending on how much time we have. So with that said, start with some loosening practices. So bring your arms in front, palms close to each other. And then as you inhale, stretch your arms, lean back slightly. As you exhale, bring your arms together and then bend forward, hinging from your waist, stretching yourself. Do a few more rounds of this. Inhale, stretch, lean back slightly. Exhale, arms together, bend forward. Keep going. You can close your eyes if you want. Really stretch that back. Trying not to crunch the back when you bend forward. Keep the back straight. Let's do one more. And then come back into a seated pose. Next, some spinal twists. So hands close to your heart center, palms facing down, fingers close to each other, touching each other. And then open the right side, right hand back, left side. And keep going, trying to activate the spine, giving a spinal twist. Shoulders, arms, a little bit through the hips. Keep going. One more on each side. And then release and relax. Work on some additional hip openers, loosening the hamstring region. So try to bring your feet close to each other. If you feel tightness in the hips, I mean, you can move your legs forward. So do what you can. Ideally, try to bring your feet as close to your body as you can. Soles of the feet close to each other, touching each other. And we'll do some hip openers. So like butterfly flaps, moving the legs up and down. Take your time. Again, if you feel some stiffness, don't overdo it. You can move the legs forward a little bit. Do what you can. We'll be doing the malasan, the garland pose, like a squat. So working towards that, opening up the hips, groin region, make the posture a little bit easier, hopefully a bit more accessible. This is a good one to focus on. A lot of us have a lot of tightness in the hip region, can cause problems later on. So good one to focus on. Let's do a couple more. One more. And then release. Cross your legs again, back into a seated pose. Last practice, let's do some neck rotations. You can do this with your eyes closed if you want, since you're seated, no chance of losing balance. Chin close to your chest, and then making a full circle with the neck starting whichever direction you choose. Few rounds, and then we'll switch, change direction. Do it slowly, don't rush, don't sprain your neck. Just releasing any stiffness, opening up the neck region. Switch, go the other way. One more. And then release. Keep your eyes closed for a few more. Might feel lightheaded or dizzy if you rush to open your eyes. And then open your eyes. All right. Let's do 2 rounds of Kapalbhati, bellows breathing pranayam. So passive inhale, active exhale, pulling in the stomach on the exhale. Need some focus, obviously, as we all know. And as always, some things to keep in mind: stomach cramps, back pain, high BP, avoid or be very careful. Otherwise, we'll do a short first round, maybe up to 20-30 strokes. Take a pause and then maybe a longer round. So for the practice, hands forward a little bit like fists, thumb folded, other four fingers wrapped on top of it, hands close to your stomach region, knuckles touching each other, using that as sort of a guide to feel the movement of the stomach. And then close your eyes. And when you're ready, at your own pace, couple more strokes if you're still going. And then let's stop this round. Keep your eyes closed, observe. Again, be careful. If you don't feel good about with this practice today, you can skip the next round, do some other breathing practice. Can be a cleansing practice, energizing practice, since it's more of an active breathing practice. Open your eyes. Let's try one more. I'm going to sit on my heels in Vajrasana. Makes it a little bit easier for me. You don't have to. Let's try to go a little bit longer, maybe up to 60 strokes or whatever works for you at a pace that suits you. Close your eyes, hands close to your stomach. More focus, higher quality round if you can. Focus and begin when you're ready. Let you finish a few more strokes if you're still going. And then let's stop the round. Release your hands, release your palms. Keep your eyes closed. Slightly longer break. Since we did a longer round, notice how you feel, how you felt during the practice, how you feel after the practice. What happens to your breathing after you stop the practice? Taking the time between each practice, not rushing, seeing what works, what doesn't work, and then open your eyes. All right, let's move on. Some poses. First one, seated forward bend, Jana Shirshasana, alternately right and left side. Starting position, stick pose, Dandasana, feet together, legs in front, hands by your side, back straight as much as possible. We'll start on the right side first. So take the right leg towards the right edge of the mat. Fold the left leg, sole of the left foot towards the inside of the right thigh, right hamstring. As you inhale, hands go up. And as you exhale, stretching, hinging from your back, stretching your back, fold forward, hands touching the toes of the right foot or the right ankle or the right knee. And then using that to bend forward as much as you can, keeping the back still straight, rounding it out just a little bit if you want, trying to bring your forehead as close to your right knee as you can in the final pose. Trying to keep the right leg straight. Sometimes it tends to fold, the right knee tends to come up, gently straightening, pushing it back to the mat, adjusting where the hands feel normal, feel good. Can move up even as close to your knee or lower down. Breathe when you feel like you're in the final pose. Feel the stretch inside of the right leg, hamstring. Breathe. Couple more breaths. And as you exhale, straighten your back, straighten your left leg. Big break. And we'll repeat that on the other side. So now take the left leg towards the left edge of the mat. Fold the right leg, sole of the right foot against the inside of the left thigh, left hamstring. And then as you inhale, hands go up, stretching yourself up a little bit. And as you exhale, bend forward, hands close to the toes of the left foot, left ankle, left knee, and then folding forward, rounding out the back a little bit, trying to bring the forehead as close to the left knee as you can. Final pose. Checking, making sure the left leg is straight, pushing it down gently on the mat. And breathe when you feel like you're in the final pose. Feeling the stretch in the back, left hamstring, left groin region. Hold for a couple of breaths. And then next exhale, unwind, straighten the back, straighten the right leg. Quick break, relax seated pose. Hands behind you on the mat, toes pointing outwards. Lean back, rest your head between your shoulders. And just notice the activation in the right and left leg, the hamstring, groin region. All right, next pose, back bend. So a couple of different options. Legs can be crossed. Sukhasana, easy pose. And then you can slowly bring your elbows on the mat if you feel comfortable doing so. If that's too much on your back, skip it. Do what you can, don't hurt yourself. And then leaning back, trying to get a bit of a back bend. That's one option. Other option, if you're comfortable sitting on your heels in Vajrasana, you can do that. And then bringing your elbows on the mat behind you. Or if you want to go further, trying to bring your entire back on the mat. Hands above your head. Supta Vajrasana, Supta Sukhasana. Feeling the stretch in your thighs, your ankles, back. And then when you're ready to come out, using the support of both your elbows, slowly rise up. And then cross your legs into a seated pose. All right. We'll do a spinal twist next. So back to starting position, stick pose, dandasan, legs in front, hands by your side. We'll practice Vakrasana, seated spinal twist. So right foot on the mat next to your left knee, right hand behind you on the mat for support, not pressing too hard on it, trying to keep the back straight as much as possible. Left hand goes up, left elbow on top of the right knee or slightly outside the right knee, usually using that as a hinge, and then turning to the right side, twisting your spine to the right in the final pose, and breathe. Check your left leg, make sure your left leg is straight, firmly planted on the mat. Make sure you aren't pressing on your right palm too much again. Breathe. Look behind you on the right side. Feel the twist in the spine. Couple of breaths. Feel the stretch on the outside of the left arm, left shoulder. And then as you exhale, unwind. Straighten your right leg. And we'll repeat that on the other side. I'll turn so I can still see you. Now this time, folding the left leg, left foot on the mat next to your right knee. Left hand behind you on the mat for support. Right hand goes up, right elbow on top of the left knee or slightly outside if you can, using that as a hinge, and then twisting, turning to the left side, final pose, and breathe. Again, straightening the right leg if it is bent, pushing the right knee down, noticing the twist in the spine, turning to the left this time, and then a stretch, right shoulder, outside of the right arm. Breathe. Hold for a couple of breaths. And then as you exhale, let's unwind. Straighten the left leg, hands behind you on the mat, toes pointing outwards. Relax seated pose, lean back. Rest your head between your shoulders. Close your eyes this time, breathe. Scan your body, spine, activation in the arm, the shoulder. And then open your eyes. Last pose, Malasana, garland pose. So I guess a couple of different ways of getting into the pose. You can start seated or you can stand up and then basically like a squat. So squatting down and then elbows, arms between on the inside of your knees and then joining your hands in front in the final pose. Pushing your hips out as much as you can. Don't overdo it. Don't hurt yourself. Do what you can. Breathe. Feel the stretch in your groin region, your hamstrings. You can skip it if it's too much or come out faster if you're able to. Hold while you continue to breathe. Don't hold your breath. One more breath. And then let's unwind. So back into a seated pose. And then tell you what, let's lie down, do some quick relaxation. Lie down on your mat in Shavasana. Toes pointing outwards, hands by your side, palms facing up. Close your eyes. Quick break. Let your body and breath recover. Trying to slow down the breath. Making the exhales longer maybe. And then let's do the instant relaxation, progressive relaxation technique. So bring the feet together, hands by your side, making fists with both your palms, hands by your side. We'll quickly and successively tighten different parts of the body, then the whole body, and then release all at once, noticing the contrast between the tightening of the muscles and the release. So close your eyes when you're ready. Tighten the feet, ankles, knee joints, thighs, hamstrings, glutes, back, fists, arms, shoulders, chest region, neck, face. Tighten the whole body. Tighten, tighten, and release. Open your palms, feet pointing outwards, and breathe. Trying to notice that contrast between the sudden tightening or the quick tightening, I shouldn't say sudden, but quick tightening, and then the release. Couple of breaths. And then when you're ready, taking the support of both your hands, come back into a seated pose. Let's move on. Get some water if you need to. We'll do a cooling pranayam. Since the weather is getting a little warmer, good one to learn. Usually helps cool down the system, cool down the breathing passage. But see how it works for you. If you have any irritation in your throat, you might not feel great. It might actually make it worse. So just we'll try first short round, see if you like it, and then if you do, we'll practice a longer second round, or you can skip it. So for the practice, let's first get into good seated pose again. Body relaxed, but in a good posture. And then let me get even closer to the camera. Hopefully you can see it. So we're going to basically open the mouth and then rest the top row of the teeth on top of the bottom row, creating a gap between our teeth, the top and bottom row of our teeth. And then inhale through the mouth so the air gushes in through the gaps between our teeth, cooling, creating a cooling sensation. Then we close the mouth and exhale through the nose. So inhale through the mouth, exhale through the nose. Again, the top and bottom rows of the teeth resting gently on top of each other. Don't grind them, just creating that small gap so the air flows through the gaps in the teeth, creating that cooling sensation. Close the mouth and exhale through the nose. So that's the practice. Close your eyes, just visualize the practice, maybe see what you're trying to do. Make it a little bit easier to do the practice. And then when you're ready, let's just do 4 to 5 breaths, see how you feel. One more if you're still going, and let's stop this round. Keep your eyes closed, take some time to see how it felt. Again, generally, you should feel a cooling sensation through your throat, your breathing passage, all the way down. Good one to do when it starts getting warm outside to cool down the system. Not recommended during colder days. And also, if you have any throat irritation, allergies, might not feel that great. So listen to your body, your breath, see what works for you. And then if you're up to it, one more round, maybe longer, 8 to 10 breaths, or you can do any other breathing practice if this is not for you. Close your eyes, teeth, top and bottom rows resting gently on top of each other, creating that cavity, that gap. Start by inhaling through the mouth. Close the mouth, exhale through the nose. Keep going at your own pace, 8 to 10 breaths. Finish up one more round if you're still going. And then keep your eyes closed. Observe how you felt during the practice, how you feel after the practice, being fully tuned in. And then let's move on. Let's do a couple of minutes of some guided meditation before we close out the class. So for today, we'll do some silent breath counting as a way to focus the mind. So just normal rhythmic breathing and then counting the breaths silently in the mind, 1 to 10. When you get to 10, reset, start counting from 1 again. No effort, just letting the breathing happen and trying to count the breaths. Trying to let any thoughts come and go, not chasing them. And let's work towards closing the class. Scan your body, breath, mind. Trying to notice the differences from the time we started class to now. And then ending today's class with a gratitude practice, just thinking of anything that you should be grateful for, anything in your life, health, friends, family, work, whatever it is, helps to remind us of all the good things in our lives that we should be grateful for. Trying not to just focus on the challenges that we all have. And then let's close out with one Om. So with your eyes closed, join your hands at your heart center. Inhale. And then open your eyes, blinking into your palms. Namaste. Thanks for joining. Have a great rest of your day, evening. And today's Thursday, so last class for this week, morning class. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.